Oh, none of those videos have gone up yet?
No, we're live, Marty. None of those videos have gone up. Folks, welcome. Jonathan, Jowen from the Party Source YouTube channel with this guy here.
Marty Holland, and introducing
Kitty Kennedy.
Kitty is going to be a repeat guest here at the Party Source. But guys, I'm pretty sure you're not sitting here coming to this impromptu live stream when you are clicking it on the playback. This is the reason why. Marty?
Legent.
Legent.
Out of the Jim Beam distillery. It is a cooperative between Suntory, who owns Jim Beam these days, and Jim Beam. So it's
I'm going to get up really close here to the thing so people can read it. So go ahead and talk.
Okay, it's a very non-traditional in the sense that they are using Jim Beam bourbon, but they're also aging some of the whiskey in red wine barrels as well as sherry barrels, and then they kind of mingle them under the supervision of please, J.O.
Fred, no.
I could pronounce Fred no, J.O. That's not the hard part. Okay.
Fukyo.
Oh.
F-U-K-U-I-O.
You'll notice that Kitty and I are going to abstain from pronouncing his name because we don't want to get in trouble.
Okay, now also Kitty pointed out something very awesome with the brush stroke on there. You have Fred No within the brush stroke as well as Fukyo right there in the brush stroke. And if I am pronouncing that wrong, please leave in the comments how I'm pronouncing it wrong and how it should properly be pronounced. I would love to know. Seriously, I would. That's not me being sarcastic. But the brush also is part of the tea painting, where they will actually take a tea brush, they'll take a brush, they'll dip it into black tea, and then they will paint on a parchment. And Marty's like, give me this thing, I want to taste it.
Well, I always need a head start opening new packaging, so I'm taking this opportunity while you're
rambling on and talking about this wonderful stuff.
The bottle itself is, when you look at the label, it's actually the texture of the swipe that has the two faces in it is very calming, which is part of a Japanese culture. Probably a collaboration there would be, I think. And the bottle is beautiful. Great addition to a collection.
Definitely.
Oh wait, there's writing underneath. Let's see
hidden
here.
Message.
2 legends, 1 bourbon. Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right underneath the cork, and up here we have the Kentucky in Japan, the Legent. And one of the cool things about this was I heard, this is what I was told when I was last down there at Jim Beam, was that between Fred No and Mr. Fukyo, they were actually traveling back and forth nearly 30 plus times to Japan, to America, to get this product proper and correct the way they wanted to. So this is also not just finished in a bourbon barrel. It's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, partially finished in wine and sherry barrels. I don't know what wine they are using.
I would assume it's red wine barrels, but they don't get more specific than that. And of course, people say, well, sherry is wine as well. Yes, we understand that it is kind of a fortified wine. They did make a distinction, stating that there was just a little bit of sherry barreling, a little bit more from the red wine cask, or I assume it's red wine cask, and then just regular old bourbon, bourbon grade bourbon. So here we go.
Well, the first thing I noticed though is the color. This is really dark and rich in comparison to some of the other bourbons that are out there. It's beautiful color.
Man, yeah, that is without a doubt on the nose. I'm truly getting everything we know from the Jim Beam. The soft oakiness, that lovely. For me, Jim Beam, I get that wonderful Rickhouse dank oak smell. It's
I think what distinguishes it is it's just a bit more rounded. It has
coming off as a tea.
I could get a little of that.
Sweet too.
It took me a moment to identify that.
Right.
There's definitely, still the caramel you're going to get from a
caramel, toffee, those type of a little bit of
maple-ish smell.
Yeah, more like
I'm gonna dive in.
Kind of like a milk chocolate as well. Not real bitter.
What's the proof on this?
That's a good question.
94.
94.
So it's been getting a lot of press. We've got a stack of inquiry forms that we got to. I had a bunch of emails. I had the response saying, "Hey, it's in store right now." So from what we understand, this will be something that will be readily available moving forward. Of course, we can never truly anticipate demand until we start ringing these suckers up. So as of right now, we expect it.
Don't know if it's about going to blow up or not.
Right. Who knows? But it could turn out like the Forester 1910, where
everybody loves that.
Completely.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't either. But people really like that.
I think that was okay. But anyways, our point being is, things change in the bourbon scene. So as of right now, though, we expect it to be something that's readily available. Retails about $35 at the party source. And yeah, so I'm going to get into it.
It's really nice on the front.
Yeah.
Very, very soft on the front, not drying. And it's like, if you look a little bit, it's like it looks oily. I mean,
it is a very oily looking one. That's a good call. But honestly,
and woody in the back.
Yes, for me, I'll do a JOism here in just a second.
Brace yourself, folks.
Nutty.
Yes, he is.
Soft oak, drier oak, kind of a pecan walnut shell, and then the soft sweetness of medium wine, the tannic feel of a wine. It just stays on the palate, and it's very neutral on the palate. Most of the time, they dry or they sweeten on the palate. This just stays the same. It's very well done. It's got that Japanese quality of perfection, in which every time I drink a Japanese whiskey, I taste perfection, because these don't mess around. They don't fool you all around whenever they're drinking this. I had to go there because I know you guys were itching to do it.
We'll be here all week.
And honestly, this is good stuff, guys.
It's really tasty. And you made mention earlier about tea, and it really comes like black tea for me. I mean, it does have a lot of sweetness, but it has sort of that herbal and kind of earthiness that you get. But it's exceedingly complex. For $35, Katie, this is
great.
Well,
and you
value.
even get it gets flowery as you keep drinking it. And where it ends on the back of my palate, I get a little warmth.
Thank you.
But it's not it's not like certain that it'll hit you and keep moving down to your stomach. But it just sits nice from front to middle to back, and then it brings a lot of flavor at all different points. It's really is. I mean, how did they get all that in there? Must be the
simple yet complex. Yeah. You nailed it. We're putting a couple of splashes of water in there. Oh wow. That opened up all the sherry in there with a splash of water.
Well, and here there's now with a little water, no alcohol burn in the nose. None. I don't have any. I mean, I don't know how much water you put in here, but
I get a little slightly drier, especially on the back end of the palate with the addition of water, which is somewhat curious. It's very. I just like how it has so many different flavors, yet it does them all very well. Oftentimes when they're putting this and that barrel and this and that, and it comes through and things get a little unbalanced.
Things do become unbalanced, but no.
This particular one is just fabulous. It's I
also am noticing the colors change to where I'm now with a splash of water. I'm seeing more of the sherry coloring to it, and I'm also getting kind of a hint of banana finishing. Kind of Marty's classic saying of banana Fosters.
Yes.
Banana, some vanilla, bready, yes. The sweetness of the sherry, but I'm also getting more tannic feel.
Right.
That is very, very unique. Definitely worth trying. This is the Legent here.
Well, and I think at the price point as well, and I'm just speaking from my palate, is that this is something you wouldn't feel bad about putting a mixer in it, because it has so many different ways you can go. You can drink it neat. You could put a little cube in it. You could also go ahead and dress it with maybe some sort of ginger ale. I mean, but I would not feel bad at that price doing that to introduce, and it's nice and sweet. So I think that this is a good bottle for women. That if you want a little easier
good introductory, very true.
That's a little easier on the palate. It's not as dry or as high up.
Yeah, I will definitely say for me it kind of awesome when you said cocktail mixing it. I get a lot of quality with the splash of water in there of what I get from a Manhattan.
Yes.
The orange, the cherry, the tonic. The soda water, the cutting of it, as well as the sweetness of the sugar or the simple syrup added. Definitely worth a try, guys.
Absolutely.
I'm on board for this. I was kind of skeptical, but what was I thinking? You know, this is
I ask that question every day, Jay.
Shut up, Marty.
Okay.
I like the story. I mean, this is a great collaboration, something new and different, and you know what I mean. And it's a great conversation piece in your collection.
Really, really is definitely. Plus, I mean, it's got that heavy duty bottle plus the brush stroke. Definitely really cool to see the two faces in there. If people can recognize Fred Noah and Mr. Fukio. They can't help it. They're gonna laugh at that one. So that is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what people say on it. But right now, I'm digging this. I think this is really cool, and I like it.
Every now and again, the hype is worth the hype, and I really feel this one certainly is, especially with the price point being where it is. I had no idea where it was going to be coming in.
Right.
Judging from the way they were talking about how ultra premium and all the different, you know, this, that, and the other thing, I was bracing for something north of. So at 35 is very approachable.
It's like, was it the Forster Rye? When that hit, people were just blown away. $21, my God, bourbon at $21? I mean, rye at $21? And so, my God, bourbon at $35. Yeah, don't be alarmed. All bourbon was $21 back in the day. I mean, for goodness sakes, I mean, you could buy Pappy $23, $65 on the shelves about 10 years ago. And so with that, folks, Marty, anything you want to add?
It's just,
Kitty, you want
I
to say
think this
here?
is a really cool product. It's kind of, I see where bourbon is moving, trending. It's breaking free of the shackles of the tradition. And I love the tradition of bourbon and all that it has.
Right.
But at the same time, it stifles innovation. And you know,
Are you saying like Angel's Envy style?
So yeah, absolutely. So you know, so again, remember when that came out and how it was widely panned by the bourbon community because it didn't check all the boxes.
Now it's one of the most sold bourbons
It sure
on the
is.
shelf.
It's seldom it's in stock, but so this one is another that is groundbreaking. It's they're doing something differently, and the end product is exquisite. So. Cheers to the Beam Suntory collaboration. That would be Fred No.
And who else? Mr. Fukio.
Yeah.
Mr. Fukio.
I think for the purists out there, I think that's the beauty of being a bourbon drinker is that you constantly challenge your palate. And that, you know, and that through that exploration, you find different notes. You find absolutely. You were very quick to challenge your palate. But I think that's one of the reasons why I love the bourbon community. You know what I mean? Because they are evolving, they are changing. I mean, I am a traditionalist. I like neat, and I like my certain picks. But when I get to do something like this with something completely surprising, it makes me realize there's a lot more to discover out there.
There really is, and I think more and more innovators are going to be creating some really cool things. And this is just the top of the barrel right there. So
there you go, folks.
No pun intended.
actually,
Exclusive.
I'm going to try to pun for
yet another. Puns out of the way. So another exclusive
Punish Marty
that we bring to you. Again, anytime we got something new off the truck, like it's still a little chilly from the trip that it made from Central Kentucky.
Some of these impromptus.
Absolutely.
But with the time, we are going to now, we have more days to do these. And so I'm thinking we might announce these like 24 hours in advance.
There you go.
That is cool.
Idea.
So, but sometimes we don't even know, like this was supposed to come in last week. It didn't. So we were like, oh, I really hope it comes in today. So once it did, that was the first thing I did is knock on Studio 1A and say, J.O., we got a live one. So that's what you get when you subscribe to the Party Source channel on YouTube. It's
you also get me and Mrs. Kitty Kitty.
That's right. But more importantly, sorry guys. More importantly, you get a first look at rare and new bottlings that you're going to want to stock in your cabinet. So
true. So true. So let's go ahead and let's close this out here. Here's a peanut butter for Marty.
Oh, thank you.
Here's a chocolate for you, and I'm gonna take a double chocolate, guys. We're gonna have some snacks here, but